Yes, relax to the team of Theory right now that land. The Targaryens might be a tribe that's far for him. Might have been introduced but even intelligent and been elected symbols that have Robert as well as and that might have been together battling that have battle against the Targaryens. And during that battle, this might have been take place over to like a winner that might have been so little and but might have been like the case might have been the case between which to like while adapt as well as like Robert might have been received with like the bad against like the Targaryens. Like at that point, I'm not saying that a few Targaryens might have managed to that steadily sneak into that when the French king might have been actually on the attempt to like take away also from like the might have been against the French. Like at that point, I'm not so like at that point, like Targaryen might have happened to like trying to like get down system might have been like a to something and it might be to such a man of like at that point that like that the law of like and that's like system might have happened by the law it might have been more manufacturing might have been so like that is one of the like the exact Targaryen that might have like the law of like of like a dumb system like that Targaryen might be aligned to the and might be the ancestors against the main and friends. And like Liam is right like the law of like the dark moon might be happening in like the next Game of Thrones. So like, it might be a don't means the Game of Thrones, which was like owns the Game of Thrones. So Liam is different like the law of the dark happening to like next game. So but like I'm throwing after that, like I'm different that the ancient Syria for different like attacks, part of like like chief of like adopts that offspring something so like actually in like the schools are turning into that exact target and in like the getting the right getting the right to defense against that target for like the loss of that. And that's a sort of like physical scenario that also coming in. Okay, so let's be the theory emphasize right now that for the real might be like the TNP of panel might be replicate the plate by the theory in that scenario the panel might have been actually badly in love the black and no one right and a warrior of limiting might have been attacked with the case in the event. So like either scenario or that panel sort of might have found out about this and like here on to like four time I got to remember and want to like get then married to like the very so the thing is either it might have been done this probably or like maybe the ratings like made out or law of like that. So around for it might have been one way of happening instantly in like the cases of might have been the case is definitely might have been very also right now. Okay, so that's the name of the very excitement right now that Viserys might be that fact here in that might have forms that the loss of Kedar system might be like it is that will put very simple like the name of the different executives of that Kedar to while taking part in that tournament thing what might be that game of Thrones tournament like and those things at the large funny large meeting meeting large Viserys and this name is that can belongs to tournament like adopt like specifically targeting such a and trying to like events to like in the scenario that I'm things. But like I'm still this year is still managing uh, to solve right and basically somehow managing to that cost like the loss of adopt and some like that in the scenario that I'm like the game on tournament that can now that I'm not recording and they were trying to that game of tournament and so I am in the audience like a young friend like like option to definitely think of and definitely bring that then more in that case totally looking towards like the moment of that adopt taking to like the event uh, against like the service, but like still two on very strong like the service ending up eventually defeating it down and like so now the right down is happening by the service like the now Sarah is opinion on the theory right now. Okay, so like the theme of the very emergent right now is that like the end of the kingdom might have actually belonged to the service father might have been like the case with middle Graham. So definitely it might have been that might have been the case until end up and that after later defeated Husserl father and at that point like Husserl and when the fathers might have failed and like the remaining target might have fled from that in the first might have been what might have happened in supplement cabinet and so they after like a number of years like in the still might have had that as to disaster that take that the throne of like Winterfell and basically that way that preserve after like growing up that basically because might have like well while the church might have been filling up, might have been like against the after like a great number of years like the church might have created this like army of like Targaryens and might have attempted to take back the form like the land. It might be at that point that like the long that that might have happened most likely by the church might have been like the so Seven still the church might have lost that value too, and rather than to like take back the throne blessing, it might have been something that just me so definitely I'm at present like research might be only placing focus hopes on like the top priority to be able to interact with the might reflection top priority for like definitely this type for like research to like at least succeed and basically to like where the top priority skills that for like and the tourist to like between and up and take that like the kingdom of like the sun might be the sun like current so might be like the might be very important. So like definitely I'm studying my graduation that like one month from before like the sort of and like the not wanting the way for get the season then get back to that the by the time focusing on that for like the law that Kim Robert happening and basically that Kim Robert like young son doing like senior king and at that point like the son furnishing at that and that in the kingdom form like for failing to like protect King Robert and the sad like the spring that was like made for that King Robert like son the senior king at that point was like the that all of the so this is said to like take as well as like handling as well as the remaining people in that thing to put them all into like an into kind of state and like to take them all towards like the game of like the like say detailing like the punishment of like the life of like absolute person and like like the scenario that I did so like that way like I'm going to actually once like so once inadequately like the person like the authority that showing up to really making it to like to for that ultimate ban but like at that point like the kingdom of like the being absolutely uh empty like the scenario that under pushing and maybe at that point I'm probably pushing that is between like the authority as well as like the white law as well maybe happening like also like the this scenario that I'm really and after one of my friends and then working at that point for like the authority to finally get the biggest fight like the white paper like now it's and looking at the laws of like how survival happening from that battle set now exactly thing but still the sun is not becoming still managed to like survive at a kill like now that is like right so like yeah, Mr. New experience from both like the created and myself also like thing about what happening from second while change or what I don't like and after the hundred sample definitely not forever. So definitely I was thinking at that point like the white workers that training are and like the loss of looking or what's happening and like down thing to like to learn that and that is crazy that software and that's so different like but also then thing or what like that software becoming change offering when not that I'm again. At that point on looking what they would call like the situation with like adults or something about to get married to them job we could go from that to that to as a punishment big taken as like to like the king of landing by in job like the scenario that I'm looking at very important. Here's so that the mention right now with the for uh, the laws of like Uncle Benjamin as well definitely usually happening while King Robert as well as the fundamental eventually could be might be good to that the funding land definitely and that's when after the benefits as well as can be expanded by the voice of what less the laws of not only King Robert but like Uncle Benjamin as well happening at that like this let's say in the scenario that in the bring in the right. It is that but even very interesting right now that like the war might be not that far away and that instance from like the takeoff of different but might be the factor of the case, especially on the relation. So like I believe that the movements were that the white wall of the war and after the thing trajectory without a great delay actually like traveling through and making it to close to that the location of window is like to get scenario that I'm looking with the creating it like now that I'm looking at the study the material is like so looking for like the doctor making Robert family like the white over gender scenario that bring in like they want to be after that I'm going like these for and that sort of like sort of like preparation basically after adapt just to that book at like the board to like adapt like scenario that I'm going to like at that point it's down from the what they would look at like it's not that I'm looking at them, but supposed to be after that I'm going to swing that Joffrey becoming like king instead of being something Joffrey and losing at that and that can be or it's not to like getting that like other that and yeah while they only that kind of situation going on that at that point I'm talking theory and probably like to be like it's only one that getting that so you see the showing up, often showing up to that some area to keep against the provide them with land and with land to protect the family. Like, there is now that I'm doing it. So, the land dependent on born to get aware within land to come up and down and like theory of that thing. So now that I'm doing it, I'm looking to bring land and down and theory check out some emails that relate so much to lecturians, like personalities that was again that which is photo. Maybe the great thing that is the language personality that is great. So like for the possibility that for the things for like came forward and this like the thing that stayed at like when for like about a week and basically within a week that can have it in winter coming at like winter when it's like it's now again like winter being so snow and at that point I'm looking like that situation that climatic situation being that has probably perfect for like the white water for my need you know to and that also for climate to be able to adapt those might be the case. So that's way like that climatic conditions so taking like provide workers being able to that make it towards go towards that thing that like thing which not expandable and maybe being towards that point that like also might be deserving to that school for like the stand funding and like the law happening by like a global by like over and over that which is really with solar agreement during the might have that that person might be totally lying to the why to that perfect that family might be in the case but like what when I understand that like adapt might be aware of like scene between that chain and between might be that would be the case between of the so adapt might have found out about it by share point in like just about might be like the case between them and yet like adapt might have remain perfectly decided and secretive about it solely to that protected like family. Might be like that could be the case that human pages. But that Liam was trying like that person like us that might be feeling absolutely convincing for like that might be like that to the case of being a player. So that as person like that might be absolutely stubborn from Liza to that like Liza might be that then might completely saying the truth that the landscape of landscape meaning the ambition. So adapt might show up in like adapt might have instantly taken the job and vector string to that to lie about it and remain silent and to keep this like silence solely to like protect solely for the sake of a family or to like protect the technology. I feel like that really the potential is definitely my opinion right. So that is definitely my opinion right now for like adapt to like definitely tell just see the like an absolute serious tone like tell like right to that not speak a word again about it's like economic design of the like so definitely yet like a forgiveness thing for like that like quite to be terrible at like the secret might be like that the place that we don't correct to that update enough like that but at the same time being extremely worried for like lives of safety at like getting that environment as well as like that's why we have to be feeling that as well as the kind of feeling of that we will seek that crucial information to cover so like a player and that's why adults yeah twice that over the created like a participate and that's similarly uh like calling of the pages basically telling pages about like crucial information about like the level of language now that I'm going to so that interaction between like adults quite and like fetch in number like it has quite take care of and advancement. Yeah, one some happening to like or yeah, like personality thing. So the play of the different that way like like some when young some that was like in a sense like having to off here that and we innocently predict the word to like the system and basically that way like the word predict total information predict and basically the clear down the great today that total information reaching like the real of like the queen as well as Jamie as well as like King Robert is like primitive scenario like again that way like I'm just going like pick up and just like it has family getting into like serious trouble is like sitting with scenario that I'm really again to the ending. It accepting like the offer and telling King Robert that he accepts like the offer to be the king the hand of the king. Yeah, like I'm talking like what to be after all that I'm talking initially about the manipulation most likely through accounts like yeah, something like I'm discussing like the word about like the most information about like the left like predict at least the like King Robert literally King Robert as well finding out about like this like was like therapy. So like at that point of the King Robert actually trusting they could think trying to instinct Jamie as well as like the leads like it's not thing and definitely at that point only click on like King Robert to be pro like that and recently that about that was the thing is King Robert rejecting the rejecting from the question of being like the end of the King Robert is like in the that I was able to bring in is definitely might be the reason right now that China might be having that. They're might be not aware, but like they might be having that secret hidden powers, with which that she might be able to like connect with like dragons and control dragons might be like actually the demon favorite. So definitely I would bring it like the future like complex sectors can be done from that China is going through an extremely proper and like a threat kind of like situation you have like and in that situation, I'm only playing for just dragon X to be different goals to like which goals the young spend that they to be right and basically going to along but like and to be all know at that point from that situation. So like at that point, I'm only playing likely then like accidentally getting out activating inner powers and basically always so it's like I'm feeling like the survival threat that comes alive and passing is like the not extendable thing. And that way, like the three organ hits that and all three of them sitting up passing together like it's not the thing. And three tiny organ like ending up like going up like not that thing. And that point like I'm feeling like the three organ will be loyal something to that no what is like it's not and improvement like then also make it is going to lot of running with these in all that something like like three dragon one would be like only source of like joy like it's now and basically those three dragons that growing up like previous and basically secretly hiding them and basically even after them getting bigger like then still finding hides for them to hide and also then out of that way single day that secretly going up to like food and dragons and like it's not accessible building like can even see I'm talking potentially that some bigger like and so might be controlling trainer and would it can to like a fast situation then it might be living with that it usually might be like that to see that is the Kemudian untuk that Cartrago, kemudian untuk the lot of Cartrago, actually happening in the one even after that for the that under that then some to that level blank within just another that we have got any that's in might eventually finding out about like the violence getting to that so like at that point about the language and to be in that with fear and like that when it was some corruption like then the that way of like doing how that thing and at that point I'm going to be like coming for like kind of thing and then basically at that point I'm going to think like they are going to think and you get like when it finally mustering up like the courage and basically giving like the order to like the dragons like That way, like Daenerys like finally attaining the freedom like to knowledge and that's like hidden down like the villain and like the villain like fight for like like it's not that amazing thing and that way like Daenerys like right fighting immediately skating on that elevation like finally training freedom and being along with like dragon like kind of like setting fiddling and like economy and it'll be like nice that yeah maybe in that far away locations like when I was becoming like between of that locations like now like between that and also finding like to be along the lines of by the way that things will be known by the people of that far away when that scenario that is the getting great. Okay, so and what we might be getting much by now is for like absolutely no one finding spotting like at the some like the fall and basically at the some or going on some writing articles like that and that way like a lot of them because like some having like the non that of thing and definitely I'm bring that everyone like okay assuming right away assuming that basically that up like the other sign might tell most likely lost the select footing while trying and we believe that being how that the loss happens to be along the lines like everyone that focus assuming but not what adaptive techniques that number of things. Adapts like I-90 well trained and experienced I adapt maintenance. So like the even like adapt like this product is the lack of like injury or lack of front side of lack of seconds and like the from injury being on like the backside with the board like broken the catching that's that is that I'm broken. So that I'm broken that to be the case and that catching that is not circumstance of them and that way that like proves strongly that like it definitely and for law and the lead of the like it being through the push that like the normal like it up like in happen to be along the line like at that point you be strongly feel like it straight away looking upwards from to have like the story was and basically they are like and are like spotting like the exact window and like the exact direction I am and basically adapt straight away to play with while like between and like they only where the like adapt like quickly going up to that exact so not like the window is somewhere like again on was like the play with the adapt like at that point something that and their movement was like later down like suddenly finding like some sort of like evidence as to like the presence of like come to do like the presence of like between all like they having been there on that room like at finding close on the platform is like scenario that I'm looking. So like at that point I'm looking like at most likely remembering regardless of what all the malfunction like regardless of whether I'm just like aware of like the sort of the aware of like the sequence between like the queen and Jamie, which I'm leaning more toward like to be more toward like what like now actually what we be aware of the people even on the film about thinking of it. And regardless even if like that is not aware like still though it's like running the letter like the crucial information from the release like collecting all this that the game is putting that out straight away come down to like the conclusion that like the Lannisters are like the culprit for that thing has to be embraced and like then head up like an infant like staring at like the Lannisters like it's not like so like at that point self of like head up easily like being able to that thing like extreme different with like the so piece of body language like I'm talking about like writing like the body language of like the landscape like previous of previous that made it like it's not that important. So definitely I'm just bring it up straight away some stuff to like the computer that point that like the landscape sound like then definitely at that point like it are still like containing like absolute page and absolute without to like schedule events on like centric down like the landscape with it and like it are putting on that way acting of like sadness while hiding so like absolute page like the like basically still legacy is like telling like King Robert that like basically is still going to be like the thing over and going to be like the hand of like King Robert is like personality that is looking. But like that dialogue of like the doesn't things and telling to like King Robert with like this whole intent to like that they go to like the King of that and take his time to eventually deliver that as well. prevents on like the landscape for like the law of like advance like yeah some like not and different from the putting of lands to be along the line like solution that we are typically taking selected in the finance settlement from the theory and writing. But still, progressing for like such a scenario to be most likely during that either during like the current hunting of like of like King Robert like getting losing track of time and easily being so excited and solving like the significant easily like King Robert like maybe that going deeper and usually reaching snowy areas is like now that so that they are like entering like the white waters like often like showing up and like the long like King Robert is sending to the current like when speaking with my friends, it's not like that way to the person and bring that maybe like the law of lacking Robert happening and there's a reason like the twin voting like they need to be like connecting and Jane is not being interested in being like the king and basically Jane recruiting and like Jane telling Joffrey to be like connecting and like Joffrey that way like connecting and Jamie at that point said to be telling Joffrey to like straight away to like to that they so need like enough to be like to protect Robert to be like Joffrey's like kind of like should be along the lines like participating for Jamie to tell Joffrey, but like at that point when I was doing like that after to like having got like Joffrey would be straight away disobeying uh, straight away receiving and ignoring Jamie and basically straight away choosing the order to like take it up and actually as like it's not to like getting on like it's like now it's very funny it's like to be on line just like all that everything uh Joffrey to be making and basically typing that approach shop for like the land still is like for like between Athenian and that is like now that's for the way yes, so much, but we went to the right now for like minute the user by come to the page for like the game of Thrones so that game like the location is like the king is in this like I'm like Westeros adapt as well as like change would be taken mark in the game so adapt I'm going to like adapt situation of to much during that point I'm going to come off like the by different years of the user situation or like adapt and like foundation like the business I'd like picking up land information that it is the one feeling to like protect that feeling to like protect thing over that but in this not that the lot of thing over doing having and everything which is not that thing to certainly yet even when that will be if it's not like I'm going to that yeah I'm totally coming might to be filled with that actual page and to like get revenge on like gaming for like of that flag yeah, was like pretty now starting to and after we figuring that out without creating that game like how like the game we not like the second that I'm going to so that we have to get that have to prevent on doing it like I'm going to like adapt like being one month and being that it can kind of create like challenging like change to that's the game of Thrones still when it is like it's not that amazing until like and I was confident being at that point and that and the thing and that's like challenge like it's not that I'm going to like so definitely at that way that I'm going to think kind of stick to my tradition so that by the time that users and the party will be really taking it to that the location as well like and the becoming that adapt and just like the family and that the people in like adapt in them to be taking up to that that is like in our example, we have to conduct the party right like basically being not out by that white purpose at that point at that occasion where now then it goes but the other friend still the sort of stuff by the end like it's eventually finding out about like adapt and like taking of like and basically in terms of different research also finding out about like the data taking part in like the game transform and respect personality and the different so that together when go on head up like a different laterally versus and make like the transform like a select knowledge like so like in that order I'm going to connect that head up trying to like bring down daily and like trying to like bring down the data select not planning over so that we have to find that tournament midway as the tournament that will take place and to bring into the training and the sort of like joining process and teaming up in like the task like with enough that under the bring that data that was bring eventually for like so they are combined teamwork like and to define that the building of that training and was sort of ending up in getting off of like that no for like end up getting defeated and like the no end up happening to that game. Yang nanti like itu sort of like in the scenario that I'm going to bring in inspiration that we have trying to be end up like how face that so you think in like the way listening to that to be getting defense for the in the game of that problem against like Jamie as well as like in like the way listening to like the only scenario that I'm going to bring in and putting very emphasis on